As I said before I began teaching, uh, the amount of love that comes through this ch channel that I do not understand, but am part of, the amount of love that comes through to each of you is equal to or surpasses the love I sense that your mother experienced when she held you for the first time. There is no way to describe how much you are held by something truly, truly beautiful. And to discover that or rediscover that or to wake up to it or to stumble upon it is an extraordinary thing. This class, for reasons I do not understand, is a doorway to being loved, being cared for, being honored, being acknowledged in some profound way. As I said before, you are a gift, and this helps you to realize that and perhaps to share what you are with the world. I sat down today, and I say this fairly often, totally unprepared and what I felt was unable to provide a class for a lot of reasons. And I give you all my stories, and if you're all tired of my stories, you can switch off now, it's fine. But this was a kind of a strange, hard week. But for those of you in your 80s or who will at one point be in your 80s or 90s or whatever, sometimes good to hear somebody talk about that experience. And this week just started out with what is beginning to be, and maybe not the word beginning, but certainly establishing itself as physical discomfort moving toward pain and suffering, and pretty dominant. And and that's we all begin with, if you will, our physical material self. So those of you who haven't had what I'm talking about, God bless. Hopefully, you can avoid it to some degree. But in the end of your journey, you will be aware that your body is no longer your comfort zone or your friend in a way. It's starting to hurt. Blanche and I went to a musical the other day that was in progress, but they didn't tell you that they hadn't written the music yet. And so there was no music. It was a musical, but lyrics. And Blanche and I sat there, and she can't hear, so hearing the lyrics meant nothing. I thought music she could, really imbibe. And we were in the front row, which probably was stupid, so we couldn't just get up and walk out. But intermission we did, and the walk back to our car at this wonderful Fisher Center, which is part of the Bard College universe of art. I could barely make it back to the car. My back hurt so much, and I wasn't used to that. I actually worried, will I make it to the car? And then I went to physical therapy the next day to talk about how much the therapy over the last 2 months hasn't seemed to help all that much. And the therapist said, I think you need to go back to your doctor and not do the therapy. That was a strange signal to me. So I called my doctor, and of course, he doesn't have an appointment for what, a month, 6 weeks. So there's the pain, and I'm trying to work around that. I'm not looking for sympathy. Trust me, I'm just trying to describe a series of incidents. I also woke up with a horrible toothache and went to the dentist, and they sent me to a root canal person who said that it may be an infection, and here's a pill. And I took the pill, and the pill is like, oh my God, it's like, how do I get through the day with this pill? And and I am, I mean, you get through. You do get through. But the the announcement in a way that your body is really leaving you in some way is powerful. And you don't know exactly what is the demarcation point that says, okay, wheelchair? I don't feel that. I mean, I can still walk certain distances and I can still do exercises that seem to help me. So it's not a truly defining moment, but it is a signal. Yep, this is not going to go on forever. And we all know that. We all know that. But this signal of your body saying that to you is pretty powerful. And then your doctor's telling you we can't help you anymore. My surgeon said that. And therefore, you're going to deal with this stuff. So that's part of what what's going on. And then I mean, I hate to go into all this, but last night I had to try another. I'm having certain issues. Again, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this, but I took another pill that I was told I should try, and it worked. It helped me. But I woke up this morning and said, there is no way I'm going to get out of bed. There is no way I'm going to go teach this class. And I really felt that almost up until the moment I started teaching. I thought, this is not possible. But the moment that I turned on the screen and you were there, this powerhouse of love came shooting out, powerhouse of love. And it went directly to everyone who was popping up on the screen in a way that was overwhelming, overwhelming to my whole system. And I went, it doesn't matter how fragile I am. It doesn't matter that the universe is telling me this is, end game stuff. The love that was alive and pouring forth was beyond anything I understand or know what to do with other than share. Put it out for you. It couldn't, in a way, care less about me other than that I serve its purpose. And its purpose, and I've said this, I think, 1,000 times, is love you. That's its purpose. It wants to love you. And you are here because part of you would like to be loved. Part of you would like to touch this thing that I use the word adore, but it's not enough. That love is the best word that really embraces your being. Why? Why? No end to that question. All I can say is it happens, and I get to touch that. Similarly, as you know, Blanche and I are dealing with memory loss. Blanche is much more profound than mine. And it is a tricky phenomenon. So the immediate world surrounding me, not just my body, but my day-to-day life, is impacted by a great change in my wife's outer memory source, if you will, which affects not personality really, but affects how we deal with the day-to-day life. Not remembering we had my children, my son and my grandchildren were here for the week because they had no what do you call it? It's air conditioning. And Blanche, forgive me, Blanche, I know I'm talking out of school here, but Blanche could not remember who's in the house, who's not in the house. Are they here? Are they not here? Are we feeding them? Are we not feeding them? All these kind of questions come up regularly, like repeatedly. And my response, which is totally from this higher space, is answer the question as though it's the first time. And I do that. And as I do, this love that I'm describing for each of you for the class pours forth for my wife in dimensions of experience that I've never had before. I cannot describe how much love I am feeling for my wife. So the world around me, the body and the immediacy, is challenged on every level, but it is somehow embraced in a kind of love that I think is worth finding in yourself because it makes it possible to get through days that are really challenging. And I thought I was doing great. Um, I've stopped reading the newspapers as as a what can I say? I get the headlines and I get what's going on and how crazy the world is right now in so many ways. So I'm not oblivious to what's going on, but it is impactful. And I have to work inside to go, okay, okay. It has always been thus in the world. The world goes through changes. This is not one that I wanted to live through, but I am, and I have to work. I do the work to say, okay, to the world that is transforming around me. And I've been doing pretty well until Thursday. And the headline that came up was they've canceled Stephen Colbert. That was it. That was it. I could not handle the loss of Stephen Colbert. I don't watch him every night. I have over the last decade or so, and I've watched, the Tonight Show before that, and David Letterman. And there are just certain conditions that are permanent parts of your life that make you go, okay, these guys are going to be there. They're going to make fun of things that are difficult. They are going to talk to people I'm sometimes interested in hearing them talk to, and it's like a given. This is going to be there as part of my continuation in life, and I'll even add to that my grandfather, who was born before with horse and buggies, before cars, before electric light, and all of that, his final joy in life on this planet was David Letterman. My grandfather was 103 years old, and every day he watched David Letterman, and it made him so happy. Not that I watch Stephen Colbert every day, I do not do that. But the circumstances around the loss of that in life right now was like a trigger point for me. It's like, no, you can't take that from me. And I am aware that it is not the end of what is going to be taken. Everything that we know, that we rely on for certainty and for the form and the structure and the predictability of our life is now being challenged in profound ways. Now, look, we're not living in Ukraine, we're not living in Gaza, we're not living in places where what I'm describing here is like a nothing joke. Their lives are impacted in ways, and I could be describing most of the rest of the world. They're impacted in ways that are much more traumatic than losing Stephen Colbert. On the other hand, as a symbol of transformational change in a direction I do not particularly want to go, I am being challenged. I think we're all being challenged. Now, I'm speaking for us in a way that is a collective, and I probably have no right to do that. On the other hand, if you are finding the world around you right now challenging or even, let's call it depressing, you don't really want to live in that space if possible. And you're going to be triggered, and you're going to be triggered over and over and over as the weeks and months and whatever unfolds in us. It's going to be triggering in ways that you have not been triggered before. So, what is the response to that? And what comes back to me, and probably already to you, is Rudy's words, do the work. Because in some way, you have to make yourself available to the thing that is there beneath the surface of your physical deterioration and pain, the emotional life around you that's making it very hard to go through day by day, and then the collective, the geographical and the geopolitical universe that we inhabit, all turning into sources of struggle. And the biggest thing to do is take a breath and ask inside with every ounce of being that you can find for help to surrender. Let go. Let go of your domination by these outer forces and find this still pointed quietude of okayness, of yesness, of joy, even, and love and beauty that are residing inside you as we speak. And every time you come to this class, there is a kind of machinery of digging for that space. But once a week on Sunday mornings is not enough. It's not enough. You have to dig into this space over and over. And you have to do this thing I gave a whole class on several years ago. It's called stop, sit, stay. Stop means stop what you're doing for the moment, sit down, and stay. Don't just sit for a minute. Stay there and do this work. Take a breath and really ask for help. It's essential. It's also essential to do this teaching that Rudy gave me almost day one. He said the beginning of a spiritual practice starts with making your bed every day. I know that may sound stupid, but that is the just conscious making your bed prepares you for the whole day. And if you don't make your bed, you walk sloppily into life and you will be treated sloppily by the world around you and you will not engage it well. And you will be used by the forces of external, whatever drama that is there for whatever its purpose is to make the world go through all the drama and changes that it tends to want to go through. Your ride in the mess of all that is make your bed, sit, stop, sit, stay, do the work. Get into your heart, if you can, into your belly and say, please help me to surrender. Surrender doesn't mean just accept the outer craziness of everything and the fact that your body's falling apart or your life is in chaos. It also means help me to accept the love and the beauty and the joy of simply being, because that's what you're going to find in these spaces. You are going to find something, and it may be dynamic, which is what I've experienced with all of you today, dynamic in the ways that are inexpressible, or it may be very gentle, soft touch that goes, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. And that will be enough to get you through the entire day. And if it's not, then stop again, sit again, and stay and go back to find it. You may also find at some point in life, stop, sit, and stay is your whole day. And I don't mean that by not doing anything. I mean there's a quietude and an internal presence that is just always operating. And you just go for that. You get it. You get it. But if it's not there for some reason, if your day is causing suffering and disturbance at a large level, you've got to do the work. Because if you don't, the power of change is unbelievable and it's coming fast. Stephen Colbert is a warning sign for me of what is going to be gone. The fact that they're defunding PBS, I love PBS. I love the programming. I donate because I'm going to be one of the people who tries to keep it alive, and other programs that I can give to, that I can try to keep alive as best I can. That's something we can do. I'm not one of those people to work in a soup kitchen. That's not how I function. And I need actually to be closer to home and be with my wife. But if you find that service of that kind is of meaning or value to you, do it where you can. But I will tell you the greatest service that you can provide in the world is finding that space of being held and comforted and loved. And if you have the capacity and the energy, and believe me, after my class today, because I thought I had none, if you can take that feeling and give it away, share it with the people around you, call your friends, call your relatives, do it, it's like I say at the supermarket, you know, that's a great thing. Share this quality of, I wish there were better words for it. I like the word radiance. Share your radiance with others. Do what you can do. Do what you can do. And your giving away is the great teaching because as you give, of course, you serve. And as you serve, and you serve well, you'll be employed. They'll keep you working. This is somebody who serves well, delivers food on time, puts it on the table, takes the dishes away, cleans them up. Someone who serves well keeps working. And it's really, really important to find yourself in that plebeian, simple state of service. Serve the world, serve everyone around you, serve life as best you can. But you can't do it if you're not finding that force, if you will, that radiance that wants to shine through you and be a gift to the world around you. That's what we're here for. And also, it's the only survival tool, really. And one of the things I'm discovering, and this is way beyond most of your readiness to hear, but your mind starts to go, and your mind, in many ways, is your full connection to the reality around you. You go through mind, through processing. When that starts to go, you are not the you that you knew before. You are not who you are. You're not getting fed the way you are used to. You are becoming something else. But, and this is really important, even when the mind does not support your maintaining what was and what should be and the way it has been in the past, as the mind starts to break up, you still have this. You may not remember quite how to get there, but if you've been doing this for your lifetime, your instincts will take over and you will be led back into the beauty of your being. You just will be. You'll be led back into you no matter where your mind goes. You will find this flow of love and gratitude that has nothing to do with your story, with your history, with your, I was this, I was that in my lifetime. All of that, trust me, it all starts to go away and doesn't matter. All that matters is the present tense kind of thank you that comes out of simply sitting and staying for a while and letting it re-announce itself as the core presence, even when you don't remember a thing about you or your life. It's just there. It's there. It's what we come from and it's what we return to. It's all a matter of how gently you can let go of the stuff that is dominating, making you feel who you are every day. It's not, you don't have to reconstruct your life story. You don't have to reconstruct your mind. You don't have to go, this is who I am and how I am. Trust me, gently, gently let all that go. It is shockingly easy to see it disappear and find yourself as who you are, which is not your story. It's what you have been from the day you were born, which is a radiant being here to give love and light to the world. It's very strange losing your structure. It's very strange, but we're all getting a sense of it, whether it's the body, the personal life, the political life, or the environmental life. Those three, four containers are all in change right now. Not pretty, but it doesn't really matter if you do the work because you will ride through it. And when everyone else around you is suffering in the darkness, you will sparkle and bring light, and they will go, thank you. I needed that. The end. Ah, okay. I mean, just that talk, if you can understand this, came out of nowhere that I, whoever I am, Bruce is capable of, especially today. That's a sign. It's really a sign that we are connected, all of us, to something that is eloquent in its own way. And it's not the person at all. There's zero credit. You probably all know this, but when I have to go title the talk I have given for the YouTube that Arkady puts online, I don't remember what the talk was. It's like I didn't hear it. It's really bizarre. And I say that to you because just so you know, this is flowing from something other than than Bruce. And Bruce is as grateful, I hope, as some of you are to hear it. Okay, okay. I really am done. If there are any questions, I am happy to be open to that. I have two screens, so you'll have to speak out loud. I only see one screen at a time. George.
I mean, what you just described basically is impermanence, and that's what we all are going through. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, Buddhist terminology gives the word impermanence, and it's very interesting as a word and a concept, but when it's a physiological, emotional reality of your everyday experience, you realize why sitting still is meaningful. The idea of stillness really does help. The Buddhist meditation experience is a way of preparing yourself for impermanence. And you probably have a lot of friends and people around you who have no clue about this. They have no clue. They don't know what to do. They're not practiced. They are going through upheaval. And, that's where you can come in and to help and to, you can help them maybe, you know, just because you practice. And, I can only imagine what it's like to come to the very end of your life without ever having an idea of an internal connection to something higher and greater. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want it. I don't know how to, I don't knock on doors and tell people, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm not programmed that way. But what I do is I do remind the people who are listening that they can help the people around them by loving and hugging and being kind to find their way inward. And a few people will ask on occasion, how do you do it? And then go tell them what to do. You can have them knock on my door or you can help them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not looking for anything really. But I'm just trying to tell you, you are you are a meaningful presence, and preparing for impermanence is probably the wisest thing any human can do during the course of a life. And I'm discovering now at the end of my life, as the final chapter of letting go is making itself known, it is not easy. I don't want to let go of my wife, I'll tell you that. And I really don't want to let go of you guys at all. But it's coming. It's going to happen. And that's if you want to deal with impermanence, it's letting go of the stuff you love, not just the stuff that makes you crazy. Anybody else?
Hey, Bruce, Mark.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah,
Hey,
okay.
can you hear me, Bruce?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, really, for going through everything and still showing up. It has impact for sure. And we all, at some level, are very appreciative of what you go through and explain it to us so we can hear it from a different place, not just from our place, especially if we're not going through body issues or things like that. So I think it's a very important thing. I'd also like to call out there's the impermanence, but then there's the thing that's not impermanent. And I want to call out the thing that's not impermanent because that's the thing you talk about quite
Yeah,
often.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. Uh, you know, yeah, Buddha calls out impermanence as a doorway to practice. You know, you don't go, oh, it's all going to fall away, goodbye, too bad. The trick is it's all going to fall away, goodbye. Oh my God, look what's left. Look what's look what's under the surface. Look at, the movie's over, but somebody wrote that movie. Inspiration came from somewhere to write that movie. That inspiration, when someone looks deeply into themselves, is like source material for everything in life. And you go, oh my God, this is so beautiful. The movie's over, the drama's over, but the source is not over. Source, I don't think source is impermanent or radiance is impermanent. Now I'm just, I'm projecting that, but I look at Mark, I know you, and I know it shines forth in you in the same way as it shines forth in me. We're not dissimilar on any level, really. And that means something to me in a big way, you know? I mean, there's a gamble that, yes, maybe the whole idea of source, of radiance, of energy, of love, and all that may also disappear, but not, it's not what they're telling me. Deep, 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 deep down, they're not telling me this goes away. And I'm going, thank you. I like that. And that's helpful. And if you could witness the amount of love I'm having for Blanche. I mean, I know I return to that regularly. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know one could love another person that much, so deeply. It is like beyond my experience, and it has a feel of infinite eternal aspect. It's beyond. And if I had to go through all the struggles of life just to arrive at that aha moment, which isn't hard when she walks in the room, when I see her, when she brings me my dinner, I never used to be so grateful ever for it, but it just her walking in the room, and I'm talking now very personally, but her being in my life touches something infinite, not just finite. When she leaves my life, or if I leave hers, whoever one's going to go first, whatever that thing is, I am somewhat I'm somewhat informed that that's not going anywhere. And we'll see. We will see. But even if it goes somewhere, even if I lose it completely, this life was worth it for that. And I can't express this, but as I sat down today with every one of you, not that I'm going to try to talk magnitude of love because I don't need to do that, but that love that I'm experiencing for my wife of 56 years and 58 years of being in the same space together, it was coming for all of you. Every one of you I was loving you like that. And I was going, wow, wow. I don't understand that. And I woke up today thinking, I'm not going to be able to sit in this chair. Bruce, I won't go into the stuff, but I didn't think I could make it through breakfast. But I sat down and you appeared, and this love has come through with a dynamic that both informs me, but in the best of sense, impacts you. And you are going to be able, when we turn this screen off in a minute, you're going to be able to go, oh, wow, that was good, and maybe take it to its core, which is that the universe loves you, life loves you. Not Bruce. I mean, yeah, Bruce too, but life, existence, the mere fact of being loves you. And I cannot tell you how much it does, except that I feel it as I speak. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it doesn't matter. What an incredible thing to witness, loving so many wonderful people in such depth and knowing they are worth it. Every one of you, every one of you. And if you're not getting it and you're not taking it in, so sorry, because I'm trying everything I can in every little way I can to get past the roadblocks that might be there and to make you feel some of what I'm talking about, because you're all, every one of you, worthy of experiencing that. Okay, I think we're going to stop. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I love you, and my gratitude is truly, truly unending. Bye, guys. See you next week.